Hello and good morning, everyone. Hello and good morning. I'm so excited to be here. The day has finally arrived. Awesome. Well, I'm not here by myself, and so we're going to start our presentation with a game. All right. So the person that I'm going to bring along with me is my manager at the LPI, the Lunar and Planetary Institute, ChristineShuplaWAC2020.
Hi, everyone. So nice to see all of you again. I feel very fortunate to be here with you. I think this is a wonderful opportunity, at least for me. And one of the things that ShaRell and I have been working on for a while now are some virtual programs. And we wanted to start with giving you a little test of it. So I'm going to start by sharing a PowerPoint activity that we've done virtually, and that can be, as an example, as an introduction to what we're doing. So let's see here from beginning. So we've got, and we're using this with audiences who are not necessarily incredibly familiar with planetary science, and so it's the questions are going to start off pretty easy. So we've got a quiz game here for you, and ShaRell's going to help me keep score here. So first question here. I've got a picture of Mars, a satellite view. You can see the clouds. And we have two pictures, satellite views of Earth. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to enter in the chat box. Which card do you think should match with the picture from Mars? Is it A or B? And we're going to give you 5 seconds to enter in the chat box, A or B. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And ShaRell, what did people answer?
Oh, so you know what? I have the first answers are A, and then there's a B stuck in there every so often, but the majority is A.
And the correct answer for this particular one, our intent is indeed A. B was a little confusing, right? Because the satellite image there showed a lot of ice, and some of that ice looked like it could be clouds. Or the picture on Mars could look like ice when in fact we're looking here at a picture of clouds. So clouds over the eastern, so everyone who answered A, consider yourself as having 1 point. So you've got 1 point if you answered A. Let's go on to another one. Here, trivia question. Clouds on Mars are made out of, do you think they're made out of water, carbon dioxide, or water and carbon dioxide? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to answer A, B, or C. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Miss ShaRell, what did most people answer?
And a mixture of B and C.
Mixture of B and C.
Yes.
And there is indeed some water vapor in it. So the correct answer here we're saying is C. So if you answered C, please give yourself a point or another point. Next question. We've got a picture of an ice cap in Antarctica. So which picture should we match to that, A or B? I move this out of the way down here, and I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And ShaRell, what did people answer?
A lot of B's. Majority is B, only a sprinkle of A.
And frankly, folks, we're going to give you the answer if you picked A or B, as long as you answered. So consider yourself as having another point. Some of you pointed out which ice cap was either north or south, and so you might have answered based on that. But we'll say they're both ice caps, so we will give you a point regardless, as long as you took the time to answer. The northern ice cap on Mars, is it mostly frozen water, frozen carbon dioxide, or frozen water and carbon dioxide? You've got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is C. Ms. ShaRell, did many people get it right?
Yes, they did.
They did. Okay, so we're going to pause here for just a second. I'm going to show you a picture. We can take a look at it of the ice cap, the northern ice polar cap. And as you can see, seasonally, when it is summer and the North Pole of Mars, a lot of the frozen carbon dioxide, the dry ice, has sublimated and has gone away, and it's leaving behind some of the frozen water. but during its winter time, it does cover an extensive part, not just with the frozen water, but also the dry ice, the frozen carbon dioxide. You can mentally add up how many points you have. Please, if you've got more than 3 points, enter the number of points you've got right now in the chat box. How many points do you have? And Miss ShaRell, how many points are people entering?
I'm seeing 3 threes, all of threes. There's a 4.
There's a 4?
Adam has 4.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we will either stop at the end of the game or when somebody hits, let's say 8. Let's say 8.
Okay.
So our next picture here, a polar dust storm on Mars. And you can make this more difficult by leaving off the words, but most people just aren't that familiar with satellite views of things, and so it can be very confusing. Which picture should we match with this, A or B? You have 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and the answer is, yes, ShaRell?
No, I was going to say, go ahead and say the answer. I'm going to tell you what
majority is. A. The answer is A.
All right, then they're dead. They're spot on. Spot on.
So that all the news that the Sahara dust storm got really helped with that. Question: Can true or false? Sorry, this little thing keeps covering it. Dust storms can cover the entire planet. You have 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. What did most people answer, ShaRell?
True.
True. And of course, all of these folks know their Mars. All of these people know Mars science, so they know that the answer is true. Most of your visitors may not, of course. A dust devil. You know what? I don't particularly like this question. We're going to skip it because the answer is A and B, and yeah. Dunes. So here's a picture, a satellite view of Mars. Which one of these satellite views of the Earth would you match to this satellite view of Mars? 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and?
A, and Patty said I can match it to Star Trek.
Yes, it does look like the symbol, doesn't it? Absolutely. For infinite diversity and infinite combinations, right? I think. Let's do just a couple more. So here is an image here on Earth in Chad. Which of these 2 images from Mars would you match to it? You have 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and Miss ShaRell, what have most people answered?
B.
B, and they are indeed correct. We've got Lowell crater there on Mars. Let's take a pause here. Does anybody have more than 6 points? Who has more than 6 points?
Oh, 7.
7.
Patty raised her hand as well.
Okay. We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna go all the way up to the hard ones. Okay. Here we have a river delta in Jezero crater on Mars. So which of these 2 images from Earth should we match to it, A or B? 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and what did most people answer?
B.
B, yes. Again, these folks know their images, know their satellite images. That is a river delta in Canada. The name of the rover that's going to land in Jezero crater, A, B, or C? You've got 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and the answer is, what did people answer?
You know it, A.
A, they got it. Okay, so some of you must have 8 points by now, yes? Who has more than 8 points? Enter the number of points you've got in the chat box.
9, I see. I see a lot of 9s, Christine.
Okay, we're going to do one last question. One last question, since a lot of people have 9s. Oh, this one's too easy. Never mind, not that one.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
How about this one? It's medium. It's not that easy. It's not that hard. Which image should we match here, A or B? It's not terribly hard, but it's not terribly easy. I'm going to give you 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and the answer is?
I have a mixture, Christine. It looks like it's,
The answer is A.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so B was not an impact crater. And This one's too easy. This one's too easy for you all.
But Christine, while you're going through that, there was a question in the chat box about matching the images. Was it time consuming? And I'm scrolling up to see that question.
To create Andy Shaner put this together for us, and it probably took him, I don't know, Sherelle, he took a couple of days to finish it up with the background and everything, and selecting the images. We have a variety of other images that he could have used, but he wanted newer images, so he went and investigated. Putting the PowerPoint together probably only took a few minutes. A few hours. Putting the PowerPoint together probably only took a few hours. This question we are not going to do with the public because frankly, in my opinion, it is too difficult. So we will do it with you folks, and this is our last one.
The bonus.
This is the bonus one, A or B. We are not planning on doing this with your average person, but none of you are average. So should we match Mariner Valley, Valles Marineris, with A or B? Geologically speaking, as opposed to appearances, geologically speaking, which one will it be, A or B? I'm going to give you 5 seconds, and 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Ms. Sherelle, what are people answering?
Majority is B.
And the majority got it right. Awesome. So yeah, it's a rift. A grabens, so it's a rift as opposed to the traditional one that we compare it to, of course, is usually the Grand Canyon, which was not formed from a rift. So that's the distinction. I'm going to pull out of here and stop sharing and let Miss Sherelle share and let her get started with our points in terms of how we would use this and what we're using these things with.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Christine. That was a wonderful game. I saw someone say that they actually enjoyed this activity, and we appreciate that feedback, that immediate feedback, because we enjoy it too, but it would not be the same if our participants didn't enjoy it. So I appreciate that feedback. So let's go ahead and jump into this. As everyone knows, we've definitely had to pivot, right? Again, my name is ShaRellWebb, and I'm an education specialist for the Lunar and Planetary Institute. And we had to quickly pivot, right? That's the word of the day. We had to pivot from our face-to-face programs, which were SkyFest, to VEEPS. And what is VEEPS? Virtual Exploration Experiences with Planetary Scientists, all right? So with our VEEPS, the Lunar and Planetary Institute Public Engagement Program connects families at home with planetary science and demonstrations, because we have a lot of those. That's what we have a lot of, right? Planetary scientists, so we definitely put them to work. So our VEEPs are only 30 minutes long. It's a 30-minute online session that includes a live presentation by the planetary scientists, along with a related demonstration and questions and discussions with the audience. Goals. What were we trying to do? What is our ultimate goal for VEEPs? Well, number one is to increase our reach to a diverse audience that we haven't served in the past. A lot of times where we are, we're located in Houston, by the way, so we're in the Clear Lake area. And if you know anything about the great city of Houston, you can drive for 1 whole hour and still haven't reached your destination, okay? So there are audience that we haven't had the pleasure of serving, but with this virtual program, hey, with a click, a link, you know, we're able to connect that connection immediately. So we're very excited about that. And so our next goal for VEEPS is to spark the interest in planetary science. See, there are scientists who are getting up in age, and we need some new blood, right? We want some new blood in this in our program at LPI. So we're willing to make those connections so we can get them, you know, their interest spark. And so then they will crave more interest and see where this path can take them, right? And then number 3, our third goal would be to enable planetary science to share their research and their careers. See, VEEPS is not all about presenting the activity, but it's about why our scientists chose that career and what sparked their interest and got them involved, and to also share their research, right? They're working hard every day. They need a platform to share their research, but we are doing it with families and children, not just adults. All right, so what I would like to do, and I thank the other group that went before us, Brianna and Nick, for showing the video. We want to just show you a small snippet, an example of our VEEPS presentation. Here you go. And
the audio might not be playing there, but basically this is elephant toothpaste, and we're using it to demonstrate a pancake dome. So we did a quick demonstration putting together the standard elephant toothpaste demonstration, and our scientists talked a little bit about volcanism on Venus and talked about how it relates and compares to a pancake dome on Venus.
And you know what, I'm going to, because we still have time, I'm going to actually stop share and reshare, because I do want them to hear the, I want to hear, for them to hear the content that comes here. Give me a thumbs up, Christine, can you hear that?
Here's the yeast and water. Everybody ready? Because this is our big moment. And we're pouring it in, and we're going to take that out, and here we go. And there we have it.
Awesome, awesome. So here I want to talk about, you know, here on this particular slide, I want to talk about what worked well for this demonstration, and starting off in small groups. See, and when we first done this particular demonstration, Justin actually gave we had a Sky Fest that was about Venus, and so we had this demonstration in person. And so because our scientists already presented the information and presentation in person, we was like, okay, since we've already gone through this demonstration, let's see about adding this as our first one for VEEPS. So what was the benefit of that is that we started off with a small group. That small group, that piloted group, was a homeschool. We connected with a local homeschool group, and they were really, really excited about being our first ones. And so there we then kind of navigated what we needed to change because the group wasn't so large. So that was the benefit of starting off small. All right, and then our second one that came about was from Dr. Kendall Lynch. She was a Searching for Life activity, and this is not videotaped, but we did record all of our VEEPS, and they are also on our Lunar and Planetary Institute YouTube channel. The next one here is Searching for Life, and so the live link that's at the bottom is to our Explore pages, where it breaks down the activity with all the materials that you need, and this is Christine demonstrating this activity. And so we would then have poll questions. They were answered in the chat. They were, you know, ask her what's the smell or what's the texture or things like that. So that's how we made this particular activity active. And so the recommendations for effectively showing this activity would be your camera, right? So the test run is to conduct a test run before it happens. So the position of your camera is imperative for this activity to be successful, because as you can see, we are paying attention to detail. And so Christine has labels in front of the different cups, and then she has the labels on the actual cups, so she won't get them mixed up, and then she's holding them to the screen so then they can see what the changes are. And then the next activity, or the next VEEPS, it was meteorites. May 14th, Dr. Projecta Mani, she presented for us, and we developed what is called Space Rocks, a meteor game. And those are the links below for our brand new Planetary Defense module for Space Rock. And so here, a recommendation for this particular activity, we decided to have our audience to submit questions using a hashtag. So for Asteroid Day, and I agree with everyone else, you definitely, this is not a one-man show, a one-man project. You need someone to be able to bounce off of, to re-chat to. So as she was presenting, then I, on my phone, saw the tweets that were coming through, hashtag with Space Rocks, and then I was able to mention those questions to our scientist, and she was able to answer those questions online live. And so the recommendation is here. If you want to capture an audience, you can always have them submit questions using their hashtag to, get them involved if they can't participate, yeah, in any other way. All right. Keep it moving. So we had another Earth Day with Veeps with Dr. William Stefanoff and Miss Tina Hart. Of course, he was showing about the instruments on the ISS, and Miss Tina Hart, she did a demonstration of the Globe Observer app. And so she kind of walked them through, what would they expect, and many of them didn't know this app exists, and so she showed them how it can be useful in their environment, their neighborhood, things that they have access to. All right, so we're going to get into our first discussion question, and I'm going to unshare in a moment. But the question here that I would like everyone to answer, please, you can unmute or you can put in the chat. But the very first discussion question here, what virtual demonstrations have you tried, and what worked well? What works well when you decide to do a demonstration? Let's talk. Let's blow up the chat. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. What virtual demonstrations have you been successful at or not successful at? You willing to share?
And what would make a good virtual activity or a virtual demonstration that would work well with your audiences, work well with the folks that are coming to your planetarium virtually? Anyone have any thoughts?
I do.
Hey, Donna.
Go ahead, Miss Donna.
I have the best luck with the spectroscopy labs we start in 5th grade because I have the facility, or used to, hopefully, maybe after Labor Day, where it's dark enough to really do the vacuum tubes and do the different, as you know, and we have lots of spectroscopes and they love it. So that's my most success so far.
All right, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. All righty, so I'm going to share my screen again, and make sure the sound is on this time. Oh,
and
yes.
I see some good suggestions there. I see Alan mentioning, the dry ice kitchen comet. Absolutely. Pocket solar system is something you could do virtually.
Yes.
And somebody was trying to say something as well, please. And ShaRell, our clock is off. It's actually 4 minutes left. Sorry.
Okay. All right, so here's the slide. We're talking about challenges and solutions. So we talk about, Zoom bombing. That's like that I hear that we're commonly using that platform. So Zoom bombing, we want to talk about registration, annotation, chat box, and audio or video. So some things that we heard, that these are the challenges. So we've heard about Zoom bombing, and so some solution to curb the Zoom bombing is exactly what Kendall used today, which attaching that password. When you register, you have a password that you enter, so someone just can't jump into your presentation and throw everyone off. So registration has definitely been a solution to curb Zoom bombing. And I wanted to ask about annotation. See, Christine led a Veeps or an engagement, and she used Stellarium. And so we had the bright idea, right, to have them to locate their constellation, and then they can annotate. And so this was a nice idea. However, because using Zoom, you can't track, or using Ring Central, excuse me, you can't track who annotates. How have you all used annotation, and what were the challenges and solutions that you were able to do?
Has anyone tried using Annotate with constellations with Stellarium?
Or with the public audience, period.
We've used it a couple of times. One time it was just a few people, and most of them used it quite nicely, drawing, finding the Big Dipper, locating it, drawing it, things like that. But yeah, we had somebody scribbling all over the place. And then the next time we used it with Girl Scouts, for the Girl Scout badge right now, they're required to find constellations and do a sort of a night sky detective hunt. And we did annotate with constellations again with that. And we had some girls who wouldn't stop scribbling. So the next time we do it with Girl Scouts, we're going to start by setting up ground rules at the very beginning, saying you can't, you know, we will allow you to annotate during certain points, but you can't be doing it throughout because it will make it difficult for us to have good, productive discussions. So, and yes, small groups, 30 kids, no. I agree, Amy. And turning on the annotation feature. When you're using Ring Central, which uses Zoom, you have to go into your account. And once you go into the browser and your account, you can select annotation as an option. You have to turn it on, though, in your browser first. We've only got 2 minutes left.
Okay. The last challenge, or something that I want to speak about, is the breakout rooms. And so one of the solutions, I'll jump right into it so Christy can tell you about the awesome things that we have coming up. But one of the solutions that we thought about the breakout room is that if you have a large audience and you want to quickly move them, then you can have them to change their name. You know, change their name to the room that they want to go in, or you can use, you know, ABCDE, that, or 1, 2, 3. And so the second person that assisting you, it can quickly move that participant into that room without it taking so long. Okay. So those are the recommendations that I have about your challenges and solutions. Thank you.
And then let's go ahead and skip this. Yeah. We just wanted to let you know that if you wanted to invite one of our scientists or another scientist to speak during one of your programs, LPI does have a speaker request form. I've got the website there, and I'll try to enter it in the chat box later. NASA Science Mission Directorate has a map of scientists and educators across the United States and information about their fields and their email addresses. Although some of it is a little dated, so some of them may not be expecting people to contact them, but they're fair game. The American Astronomical Society has astronomy ambassadors. So these are students, grad students, postdocs, and experienced scientists, astronomers who are interested in doing outreach. And so they might be interested in participating in a virtual program with you as well. It's worth contacting them. And the link there has a map for them. I will post those into the chat box later. And I think that's time. ShaRell, can you go to the next 2 slides just so they can see? We've got speaker series that you're welcome to come join us. They're all going to be virtually. We've got a speaker talking about the Lucy mission, the Psyche mission, and the Viper mission. And then one more slide. This is happening this week if you want to join us for our next beeps.
All right. Awesome. Thank you all so much.
We'll be staying on the chat box if you have any follow-ups. Thank you so much. We're glad to see you all.